Welcome back to Gypsy Rose Papery. Welcome to all my new and current subscribers. Welcome to the Paper Gypsy Tribe. Today we are doing part 2 of the December daily golden book tutorial. So today what we're going to do is get some signatures organized and make some decisions about what we want our insides to look like. So just a disclaimer that I'm not a big time embellisher of books that I'm going to actively work in, because I'm going to embellish as I journal. So the inside of this is going to be pretty plain. There's not going to be a whole lot of razzle dazzle, if you will. So just keep that in mind. It's just going to be organization of different kinds of papers that I want in my book because they appeal to me and I want to use them, and I know they're going to stand up to a lot of things being glued onto them and all of that stuff. So if you want to join along, the supplies are an assortment of papers. So I just grabbed a bunch of different kinds of, like, the plain paper, I call it. So filler paper, which is like the smalls, you know, like little notebook paper and envelopes and 6x6 paper. And then I have the plain papers, which is like your ledger paper, your loose leaf, your plain writing paper, craft paper, that kind of stuff. You just want to grab a bunch. Now, I haven't really decided how many pages I want to put in here. I know for sure I'm going to journal the entirety of the month. I don't stop at Christmas. I go all the way through to December 31st. So you're going to need like at least 31 pages if you're doing that. And I am going to be releasing prompts because the majority of my Instagram paper gypsies said they want to see prompts. So I am going to come out with some prompts, and there will be 31. So I'm going to keep that in mind when making this book. But you can stop at 25. You can do what you want. No one tells you what to do. Do you. Okay. The other kind of paper will be scrapbook paper. Sorry for the glare because it's nighttime. I'm using my ring light. I will link it if anyone's interested. So I have more Christmas scrapbook paper than probably anyone should be allowed to have. I have 4 stacks that I have hoarded all the way back from 2016. So I just went ham and just went into all 4 and just picked out papers that coordinated well with my little golden book and the spine and my closure. So I found these numbers in one of them, but I don't think I'm going to use them because they don't really match. Aside from the red, that's the only thing that would match with the book. And I'm not always matchy-matchy, but I am very aware of clash. And not clashing in like a good old-fashioned junk journal way, like in a just bad way. Ugly way. And black and silver totally throws off everything else in this book. It's not the good kind of mismatch. So these are going to go bye-bye, and I will figure out numbers with something else. But the rest of the paper is similar. So lots of reds and greens, lots of woods, gold foiling detail because we have the gold foiling detail in my spine. And again, you will have to decide for yourself what kind of papers will work for you, but the majority of my papers are red and green, some neutrals like the wood, and then neutrals like this, and lots of animals like this here. There are some blues too because the book cover has blue. But that's what I have for scrapbook. And I apologize in advance that the paper is not going to be all in frame because my camera isn't that advanced. So I could only fit a certain amount, and these papers are 12 by 12. So again, keep that in mind. Next, we are going to use our little golden book pages. And there's a total of I believe 6, and then folded in half, they're 12. So we're gonna take those into account too. So go ahead and get all your supplies. Get your book cover here. Get your papers. So the secondary set of supplies I don't have with me because I didn't plan that far ahead. So the secondary set of supplies will be your binding tools, your awl, your template for holes if you have one, your wax thread or cord or whatever it is that you use, and your needle. So you can get those ahead of time if you want now, or you can be totally like me and leave things to the last minute and just get it after you cut your paper. So I'll see you on the flip side. So before I already folded some just for time's sake, but you're going to want to measure your little golden book pages. You're going to want to follow these dimensions because they are already perfect. So let's work with the project, not against it, shall we? So let's move this to the side. Everything falls on the floor. Okay, so the book pages are 6.5 by pretty much 8. It's like just shy of 8, like not even an eighth. So with all these smalls, I already know they're gonna fit fine because they're fitting inside of the size. Make sure I'm in frame. There we go. They fit within the parameter of the golden book page here. So these are going to be totally fine. We're not going to worry about all these little tiny pages that fit perfectly within this range. This is actually exactly perfect to the height. These, however, the width is going to be okay when you fold it, but the height is going to be off because we are just, you know, 1/2 inch too high. So we're going to cut these all off. And so that's what we're going to do for all these guys because they're all about the same size. And some of these are actually, this is not supposed to be in the group. Some of these are even higher than the 8.5 by 11 because they're like ledger paper and stuff. So I'm going to grab my paper cutter and cut these to size. Okay, so for your sanity and mine, we are going to time lapse and cue the Christmas music. So here you can see there's a little bit shorter, just a little tiny bit than the actual pages, but we're good. We're good. So right there we have quite the stack. And while I was cutting, I had an epiphany. And so I now know how many pages I want for my personal journal. So I do something called AM pages, and I think I have talked about this before at length, but basically I freeform journal every morning as a way to meditate and a way to kind of clear the mind, if you will. And so I'm going to make this a hybrid journal. So I'm going to have enough pages to journal for the 31 days, and I want 2 full pages for each one of those days. So it's going to be a total of 62 pages just for the December daily chunky like multimedia journaling. And then I want to have extra pages to freeform journal for the month of December. So this will be my AM pages journal / December daily journal. That's what I'm doing. You're welcome to do that if you do AM pages. And if you don't, you can put as many pages as is comfortable for you. And I think I've rambled on long enough. So let's come back and talk a little bit about these papers. So I have some softer papers, but then I also have some cardstock. You'll have to make this choice for yourself. I think I'm going to do 4 signatures. And each signature, I'm going to want it to have pocket pages. So with 12 by 12 paper, when you fold it in half, you know, you have each side at 6. So you won't have to cut it widthwise because remember, your golden book pages are 6 1/2. But vertical wise, you'll have to cut down to, you know, just shy of 8. However, if you are going to do pocket pages, and I'm going to do a total of 4, 1 for each signature, that means that you won't have to cut those down. So you'll have to decide which one of your, if you're making pocket pages, which one of your cardstock papers you're not going to cut height-wise to 8, because you're going to fold it and make that pocket page. So let me demonstrate. For example, this is a good pocket page material because the pattern has no orientation, so it doesn't matter which way you fold it, it's gonna work either way. So I'm going to, again, hopefully you can see, I'm going to just shy of 8, hold it, and then right where I would cut, I'll just fold. Oops, make sure you don't move it. But right where I would cut, instead I'm going to fold and then hold and fold all the way across. Okay, and then fold again in half because 6 is pretty much perfect. And if I grab my golden book page here, it's pretty much almost the size of your golden book page. So if you're going to do pocket pages, decide how many, go ahead and fold those, and then I'm going to cut the rest because they won't be pocket pages, and cue the Christmas music. Okay, so here are all our pages all together. So after calculating everything that I wanted to do in this book and how many pages realistically that looks like, it's about 125 pages, but I'm going to even it out at 126 pages. And so every signature will have 12 pages. It's for a total of 5, not 4 signatures. So if you wanted my book recipe, 5 signatures with 12 pages, we don't count the smalls. So all these guys here, like these little tiny guys, these are just like filler. You're not gonna count this, but like your big pages, you'll count those. So we're gonna go ahead and organize these signatures, and depending on how long this video is, I probably will not be binding this. So I counted for 5 signatures, so right away I'm gonna pull out my pocket pages because those are meant to be 1 per signature. So for now we are going to pull all of them out. Okay, So these are our 5 pocket pages, which you can either sew or glue. Sometimes I just end up gluing them because this book is supposed to be stress-free. We're not really supposed to do a lot of embellishing, but if you want to sew them, totally, completely, 100% up to you. Start creating stacks for yourself. So then my plain paper stack will be here. And then my pretty paper stack will be here. And again, I won't be completely in frame because it's impossible. My smalls are on this side and then my book paper. So start to alternate. Pick out which one you're going to want to see when you open this book. I like this red sweater one. And also I want to alternate like the colors a bit. So this is the order they'll go in. So it'll be this guy first. And then a book page. And then a plain page. Okay. One of my smalls. Another pretty page, and because I have red here, I'm gonna try to alternate that to a green. And remember, we need to do 6 pages without counting the small. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do another small. And then maybe let's do another book page and a plain page. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 in our first signature. And then we're just going to keep following sort of that same order. Okay guys, so here are all the signatures, and when we put them in here just to test it out, we can see that they are right flush with the top of the book, but also we have a nice triangle shape. What that shows me is that there's going to be a lot of room for stuffing this guy in. Again, I have 126 pages in here, so plenty of room for journaling and plenty of room for just plain writing. So I think we're going to stop here. Obviously, we still have to bind it. I think that I will probably do that on another video because binding does take a long time, and I know some of you will want to see how I template the spine, make the holes, and that way the stitching comes out nice and straight. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!